Success is often portrayed as a single, explosive moment, a stroke of genius, or a sudden breakthrough. But in reality, the most profound changes in our lives are the result of tiny, almost invisible shifts. James Clear calls these atomic habits. Like atoms, they are small and seemingly insignificant on their own, but together they form the building blocks of remarkable results. In this documentary, we are going to deconstruct the entire framework of behavior change, moving beyond simple summaries to understand the deep psychology and biological systems that govern our potential. This is the 1% formula for mastery. Welcome to Wealth Entertainment 21. We often overestimate the importance of one defining moment and underestimate the value of making small improvements on a daily basis. James Clear introduces us to the 1% rule. If you can get just 1% better each day for 1 year, you will end up 37 times better by the time you're done. Conversely, if you get 1% worse each day, you will decline nearly all the way to zero. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. The same way that money multiplies through compound interest, the effects of your habits multiply as you repeat them. On any given day, a 1% change seems insignificant. But over the span of months and years, the value of these atomic habits is enormous. One of the biggest reasons we quit is that we expect progress to be linear. We put in the work, but we don't see immediate results. This creates what Clear calls the valley of disappointment. You feel like you're doing everything right, but nothing is happening. But your work isn't wasted, it's being stored. Think of an ice cube sitting on a table in a cold room. The room is 25 degrees. You heat it up to 26, 27, 28, nothing. But when you hit 32 degrees, the ice suddenly begins to melt. The breakthrough wasn't caused by that last degree of heat, it was the result of all the degrees that came before it. This is the plateau of latent potential. Society tells us to focus on goals, but James Clear argues that you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Winners and losers often have the same goals. Every Olympian wants the gold medal. Every job seeker wants the position. The goal isn't what differentiates them, it's the system they follow. Goals are about the results you want to achieve, but systems are about the processes that lead to those results. If you were a coach, your goal might be to win a championship. Your system is the way you recruit players, manage your assistant coaches, and conduct practice. If you ignored your goal and focused only on your system, would you still get the result? Clear argues that you would. Systems are the path to mastery. True behavior change is identity change. There are 3 layers of change: outcomes, processes, and identity. Most people start with outcomes. They focus on what they want to achieve. But the most effective way to change your habits is to focus on who you want to become. Imagine 2 people resisting a cigarette. When offered a smoke, the first person says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." This sounds reasonable, but they still believe they are a smoker who is trying to be something else. The second person says, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." This is a small shift in language, but it represents a massive shift in identity. Their habits are no longer a chore, they are simply a reflection of who they are. Every action you take is a vote for the person you wish to become. To understand how habits work, we must look at the habit loop. It's a neurological feedback loop that consists of 4 stages: the cue, the craving, the response, and the reward. The cue triggers your brain to initiate a behavior. The craving is the motivational force behind every habit. The response is the actual habit you perform, and the reward is the end goal of every habit. To build better habits, James Clear developed the 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. In the following chapters, we will break down exactly how to apply these laws to your life to build systems that actually stick. The first law is, make it obvious. Most of our habits are so automatic that we don't even notice the cues that trigger them. Clear suggests using a habit scorecard to bring your unconscious habits into your conscious mind. Once you're aware of your cues, you can use implementation intentions to design your success. Instead of saying, "I will exercise more," say, "I will exercise for 30 minutes at 6 p.m. in the local gym." You are giving your brain a clear, unmistakable cue. You can also use habit stacking, pairing a new habit with a current one. After I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. By anchoring a new behavior to an existing one, you make the cue impossible to miss. Environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. We often think we lack willpower, but what we actually lack is a well-designed environment. Cues are often visual. If you want to remember to take your vitamins, put them right next to the faucet on the bathroom counter. If you want to practice guitar more often, place your guitar stand in the middle of the living room. Stop relying on internal motivation and start relying on external architecture. On the flip side, if you want to break a bad habit, make it invisible. Hide the remote. Put the phone in another room. If you don't see the cue, you won't feel the craving. Clear calls this priming the environment for future use. The second law is make it attractive. Habits are a dopamine-driven feedback loop. When dopamine rises, so does our motivation to act. Interestingly, dopamine is released not just when you experience pleasure, but when you anticipate it. This is why the craving is so powerful. To make a difficult habit more attractive, use temptation bundling. This involves linking an action you need to do with an action you want to do. For example, you might only listen to your favorite podcast while you're cleaning the house. You are bundling a low dopamine task with a high dopamine reward. This makes the anticipation of the habit far more attractive, increasing the likelihood that you'll actually do it. We are social creatures. We naturally adopt the habits of the people around us. We imitate the habits of three groups: the close, the many, and the powerful. One of the most effective things you can do to build better habits is to join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. If you want to be a writer, surround yourself with writers. If you want to be fit, join a community of athletes. When the tribe's identity matches your goal, your habit becomes a way of belonging. Belonging is one of the deepest human cravings. When a habit helps you fit in, it becomes incredibly attractive. Surround yourself with excellence, and excellence becomes your default. The third law is make it easy. Human nature follows the law of least effort. We gravitate toward the option that requires the least amount of work. To build a habit, you must reduce the friction between you and the behavior. This is why environment design is so crucial. If you want to go to the gym, pack your bag the night before and place it by the door. You are reducing the friction of the starting phase. Conversely, to break a bad habit, increase the friction. If you spend too much time on social media, delete the apps from your phone so you have to log in via a browser every time. The more steps there are between you and the action, the less likely you are to do it. Mastery is about making the right choices easy and the wrong choices hard. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. James Clear calls this the 2-minute rule. Read before bed becomes read 1 page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. The point is not to do the task, but to master the art of showing up. A habit must be established before it can be improved. Many people fail because they try to optimize a habit before they have even started it. They try to run a marathon before they can run for 5 minutes. Start small. So small that it feels absurd to say no. Once you have mastered the art of showing up, the habit becomes a platform upon which you can build. It's better to do less than you hoped than to do nothing at all. The first 3 laws increase the odds that a behavior will be performed this time. The fourth law, make it satisfying, increases the odds that a behavior will be repeated next time. The cardinal rule of behavior change is, what is immediately rewarded is repeated. What is immediately punished is avoided. The problem is that most good habits have a delayed reward. You don't get 6-pack abs after 1 workout. You don't become wealthy after 1 day of saving. To stick to these habits, you need a way to provide an immediate micro reward. This could be as simple as using a habit tracker. The act of crossing off a day on your calendar provides a small hit of dopamine, making the habit satisfying in the moment. It provides visual proof that you are becoming the person you want to be. Perfection is not the goal. Resilience is. Life will inevitably get in the way. You will miss a workout. You will have a cheat meal. You will skip a day of meditation. When this happens, follow the never miss twice rule. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. Successful people aren't the ones who never fail. They are the ones who get back on track the fastest. The all-or-nothing mentality is the enemy of long-term progress. If you can't do your full workout, do 5 minutes. If you can't write a chapter, write a sentence. Just don't break the chain. Every time you show up on a bad day, you are casting a powerful vote for your new identity. How do you stay motivated in the long run? James Clear points to the Goldilocks rule. Humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks of just right difficulty. If a task is too easy, we get bored. If it's too hard, we get discouraged and give up. But if a task is just at the edge of our current ability, right on the border of boredom and failure, we enter a state of flow. This is where mastery happens. Atomic habits keep you grounded, but the Goldilocks rule keeps you growing. You must constantly search for that just right challenge to keep your brain engaged and your systems expanding. Motivation is not a constant, it is a result of the right level of challenge. Habits are the foundation of mastery. They allow you to perform tasks automatically, freeing up your mental energy for higher-level thinking. But there is a downside. Once a habit becomes automatic, we stop paying attention to how we can do it better. We hit a plateau. This is why habits alone are not enough. Mastery requires deliberate practice. You must take your automated habits and periodically review them. You must look for the small errors and the areas for improvement. Habit plus deliberate practice equals mastery. Never let your habits become your ceiling. They are the floor upon which you stand as you reach for something higher. Constant reflection is the key to elite performance. Atomic Habits is more than a book about productivity. It is a philosophy of life. It's about realizing that you are the architect of your own systems. You don't need a massive overhaul to change your life. You just need to focus on the next 1%. Focus on your identity. Design your environment. Master the art of showing up. And never, ever break the chain. The results you seek are a lagging measure of the habits you follow today. Start your journey now. Subscribe to Wealth Entertainment 21 for more deep deconstructions of mastery and wealth. Your future is built one atom at a time. Thank you for watching.